What a painful loss for Jazz fans. That was tough. It was a close one. It was a good game. Let's talk about what happened, what maybe should have happened. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. Get started, let's just give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Make sure you go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. They will match up to $100. Go do it today. It's a lot of fun. Today we got the over on John Collins. They did not play enough Jalen Suggs, so I didn't get the over on him. But hey, we hit on one. It's usually pretty easy to guess on the Jazz if you pay close attention. So anyways, go sign up. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people are having fun with it. I certainly do. And it supports the channel, so that would be great. All right, let's talk about the Jazz. My gosh, what a game, and what a frustration game for Jazz fans. That was, I mean, you got to give credit to the Orlando Magic. They played really well. They showed why they are a team that's going to get better with what we saw from Paolo Banchero. 30 points tonight from him, 21 for Franz Wagner. Wendell Carter Jr. gets 14. Cole Anthony hit some big-time shots, 18 points for him. So they're just a team that's just really good. You know, if Jalen Suggs lived up to the hype, they'd be incredible, but he hasn't quite lived up to it. The defense from him is fantastic, and he plays his heart out. But 1 for 7. That's what happens when James picks the over. They go 1 for 7. He missed every layup he took. That's also Walker Kessler. All right, let's dive in. Should we go player by player like we normally do? Or should we just talk about what we think, what is probably the biggest thing? So, the last play of the game, Lauri Markkanen hits a big-time three that puts the Jazz up by 1. And there were some decisions in this game that I didn't quite understand. Walker Kessler's season has been one of the weirdest ones. And he was not, I mean, he had 5 block shots. His first half was pretty good. But, man, he missed multiple. I mean, honestly, in a game that the Jazz lose by 2 points, there were so many different things that could have gone the Jazz's way that did not. You know, the referees were terrible in this game, and I'm sure Orlando Magic fans, you know, all 8 of them thought that the referees weren't great on their end, because that's one sign of bad officiating, is when both sides think things are bad. They were terrible. I mean, Lauri Markkanen gets ripped to the floor. It's a body blow. They don't call the foul. Just terrible officiating. It's really bad. And when their contract's up, the NBA should actually pay them less. They should go into these contract negotiations with these NBA officials and just say, we're going to pay you less. You're doing a bad job. We're going to pay you less. And if you want to quit, that's fine, because a scarecrow on the court would do better than what these officials do half the time. They're terrible at their jobs. It's unbelievable that this multi-billion-dollar league has this terrible of officiating where you don't know what's going on. You don't know what it's a foul. You don't know what is, what isn't. It's terrible. It's terrible. They cost the Jazz multiple points. They cost that on that Jordan Clarkson 3 that he gets fouled. They do not call it. That's 3 points right there. The foul on Markkanen at the rim, points right there. I mean, it was just terrible. Baby Elliot Matson, my man, $4.99. Thank you, my friend. Did you see Wemby tonight? 38 points. I can't even talk about Wemby, Elliot, because it should have been Utah. He should have been with Utah. Tough Jazz loss still early in the season. Go Jazz. This is actually a good Jazz team. There's just got to be some changes, and it might happen later in the season than we want, but there's got to be some changes. But just some frustration things that happened. So, you know, officiating was horrific. Absolutely horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible officiating. It just is. But it's basically the norm now. You just can't watch an NBA game without NBA officials just picking their nose. It's terrible. But then, so what happens is Markkanen makes the big-time 3, closes the game, hits that shot. Massive, massive 3. And then the Jazz go on defense on the other end. I don't know why, but Paolo Banchero has been just driving to the rim on everybody, namely like John Collins and Kelly Olynyk. The Jazz have a chance to make a defensive stop. They don't put Walker Kessler in, which I don't understand. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind watching Walker Kessler guard out on the perimeter because he can do it. Now, I don't know if he's hurt or what's going on, but Walker Kessler missing 2 bunnies at the rim is, I mean, it's driving me crazy a little bit. I don't know what's going on with this guy. What is going on? He needs to figure it out. Someone tell him that it's going to be okay and there's going to be light at the end of this tunnel or something. But he has been just so in his head. Come on. Toughen up. Toughen up. Dunk the ball. You know that miss he had where he's under the basket? I mean, this was the game. Every possession matters in NBA basketball. Look at this. Was this the one?
10 to shoot.
You get Markkanen right there. Dunk the ball. Dunk the ball. That's the game right there. For all these things that were frustrating, simple stuff like that, just put it in. Dunk the ball. You're 7-1. You know, how many of us would like to be on this NBA court? I would dunk the ball every time I had a shot, and I don't care what anyone says. Yes, you would. It's crazy to me. Dunk the ball. Anyways, that's a big time miss. There were multiple others. 4 shots missed. He had that other play where he like throws the ball because he didn't know who to throw it to. You know, take a jump shot, Walker. Come on, man. Anyways, that being said, he should have been on the floor in that last possession. I don't know why he wasn't. Kelly Olynyk was not. He's just fouling like crazy. He's in at the end of the game, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're running in the zone. Maybe, I don't know. I've got to watch the play again. I don't think it was a zone. I think they had man. Banchero just drives to the basket. Why isn't Walker Kessler on the floor? I hope one of the beat reporters asked that, but that was like, what is going on? It shouldn't be everyone else asking these questions. Why? Maybe they couldn't get him in. I don't know, but that was strange. And then on the last play, everyone's kind of ragging on Talen Horton-Tucker. I actually felt like he played well tonight. Yes, the 1 for 4. If he'd have hit that 3, it would have been so huge. It would have been like the play of the year. And I think everyone would have just absolutely just been over the moon for him. Doesn't hit the 3, is 25% from 3 for the game. But despite that, he played really well. And Talen Horton-Tucker was not the problem tonight. If anyone's coming away saying THT was the problem, he was not. Talen Horton-Tucker played pretty darn well tonight and hit some massive buckets. He goes 50% from the field. The person who struggled, I mean, look at, also, can we just give a shout out to John Collins? 20 and 10, 70% from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. And this is on a back-to-back. Just monster stuff. Monster stuff. This right here is what killed the Jazz. Absolutely. 5 for 20 from the field. That's more field goals than anyone. I mean, Jordan Clarkson shot the Jazz out of this game, and he has had a bad start to the season. He has one good game last game, but against a underhanded Grizzlies team. But tonight, I mean, he did make all his free throws, so that's good. And he has 6 assists and 6 rebounds, but 6 turnovers. So he shoots 25. He takes 20 shots to make 21 points and 6 turnovers. That is just brutal. And so much of it was just like, and you can tell he's frustrated on the court. You can see the body language. He's angry at multiple guys. And, you know, you've got to move the ball around. If your shot's not falling, and he's got to play through it, I guess. This is the, sorry, I got a yawn. Sorry, it's late. This is the lineup that Will Hardy's been given, and that's what he chose to do, and that's fine. But I don't know why Jordan Clarkson's playing 37 minutes when he's going 5 for 20 from the field. It was bad. And some of that's got to be like relations with players. Like, you've got to keep up the morale. You've got to keep guys playing hard and earning their, you know, respect or whatever. But at a certain point, like, it's just shooting you out of the game multiple times. And the 6 turnovers is just brutal. It is just brutal. This is the reason the Jazz lost. You know, referees sucked. They sucked. They were bad, and they cost the Jazz significant things. The missed 3 by THT, that sucks. The missed shots by Walker Kessler, that sucks. But he only played 25 minutes. You know, Walker Kessler gets benched if he doesn't play well. You know, THT gets benched. But Jordan Clarkson, I mean, it just seems like he gets like this leeway, and it's been not very good. It's been brutal. Kelly Olynyk had a bad night tonight. 5 personal fouls, 2 turnovers. It was a bad Kelly Olynyk night, and they needed a good one. 4 points. The worst turnover of the game, though, was the final one where Keontae's like going and he throws it at his feet, and it's like, how do you expect him to make the catch? What are you expecting to happen there? And if he waits just a little more, Markkanen was open near the basket. Just rough game. We had some bad games tonight, and despite all of this, despite all of these things, the Jazz should have won this game. Could have won this game if THT makes that 3. If Olynyk gets the pass to Keyonte and he makes a shot, we know that if Keyonte gets that ball, he had daylight. He's got an ability to get to the rim and shoot that. He had 1.3 seconds. If he makes a good pass there, that is like daylight and a chance to win. Instead, it's just brutal loss with a brutal missed THT 3, brutal inbound pass. It looked like a good play, to be honest. The inbound was bad. And then, subbing in, I mean, I don't know what you do there. It is what it is with this Jazz roster. And I know online a lot of the people who are covering the Jazz are talking about how you've got to give, sorry guys, I hate it. You've got to give time to, like, they're giving Keyonte George 20 minutes a night, although tonight he only plays 16. And he looked really solid. I know he makes that one bad turnover. But I mean, he had multiple times where he was setting up Markkanen, cutting to the basket. He just looks really good. And the offense just flows so much better. Really bad. Another play that really sucked for this Jazz team. Colin Sexton sucked tonight too. 3 for 8 from the field, but they have that one end of half possession, I think it was. Colin Sexton's like begging for the ball, and he gets it on that right side 3-point line. Waits for the shot clock to go down. Did anyone expect anything to happen with Colin Sexton other than what did? He drives to the basket into a crowd. They know what's going to happen. Everyone, including Jazz fans, Magic fans, Jazz players, Magic players, they all knew what was going to happen. He drives to the basket, gets absolutely rejected. And who's open at the top of the 3-point line? Lauri Markkanen. That right there is an example of why this Jazz team, to me, is going to make a run at some point this season, because Keyonte George is going to get more play, and he's going to absolutely have earned it. And if, like, Jordan Clarkson or Taylor Horton-Tucker or Colin Sexton have any issue with it, well, they can just take it up with HR, because Keonte George has been the best option at point guard. And I tweeted about this. This is the thing, and I know some of the guys that covering it are saying that they want Keonte George to, like, have time to figure it out, and he's getting more minutes than he would have normally, than Jazz expected. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Who knows what's true? What I do know is that, and you can let me know in the comments. Members, let me know in the comments. Rookies, starters, all-stars, let me know in the chat. What is worse? Mistakes by a rookie who is going to figure things out, or watching a veteran go 5 for 20 with 6 turnovers? I'm not quite sure what's worse, but I tell you what, these 6 turnovers are also turnovers and don't help you win the game. And one thing that I really want, just myself as a Jazz fan, is that I want to be playing for wins. I want the team out there to be playing for wins. I don't want the team playing for trade deadline deals, right? I know that this Jazz team is not going to win the championship. They're not. But I do think that this Jazz team can win more games than they lose this year. They're at least a 500 team. They should have won this game. They really should have. They had every opportunity, and they just continually shoot themselves in the foot. 6 turnovers, JC. Walker Kessler looks like he got monstered. Lauri Markkanen got 2 free throws and missed both of them. 2 missed free throws from a 90% free throw shooter. What in the world? John Collins, Keyonte missed 2 free throws. Colin Sexton missed 2 free throws. Good free throw shooters. I know we didn't get as many, 26 compared to how many did the 26 to 36. So the Magic got 10 more free throws. And but it was our good free throw shooters that were taking them. They missed them. Shout out to Jordan Clarkson, as much as I've been ragging on him, hit all his free throws, so that's great. But you know what? It's just crazy that Markkanen missed both of those, and that's the game. And that's the thing I think I take away from this is that this Jazz team, it's not really a talent deficit with this Jazz team. They've got a lot of talent. Walker Kessler needs to figure it out. We know what he can do and what he can be, and he will get there. But something's got to go on in here to fix that. And then Markkanen has been just absolutely all NBA this season. He's been absolutely phenomenal. John Collins has been an absolute steal for this Jazz team. This front court right here is massive and is doing good things and looks good. But they're struggling. What's been the struggle has been the combination of Jordan Clarkson, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and Colin Sexton. And tonight, Taylor Horton-Tucker was good, so we're going to give him his props. Taylor Horton-Tucker, in my opinion, is probably the starter from here on out. And then I think you got to start Keyonte George next to him. I've been so disappointed with Ochai Agbaji. It's been so disappointing. I thought that was going to be so clear and obvious, and he has taken a step back, and it's disappointing. Now, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. He had the same type of thing happening last year, and then he turned it on and got better as the season went on. But the guy needs to make his free throws right now, or not his free throws, his three-point shot. But let's see, what is he shooting from three this season? He's shooting 23% from three. Like, at some point, that shot has to start going in. It's the idea of Ochai Agbaji needs to match the reality of Ochai Agbaji at some point. He's got to start making his shots. And if that's just corner threes, then so be it. But it's just disappointing if that's all he can do consistently is make corner threes. We need top of the break threes, you know, and he's got to knock them down. He's got to become a knockdown three-point shooter. I'm just kind of blown away that we go from 35%, which is not even, you know, you'd think it was better, but it's only 35 to 23. It'll get better, but man, it's been not good enough. So anyways, I think Taylor Horton-Tucker is probably the more consistent choice. He can drive, he can shoot. I know his three-point shooting isn't that great, and so that's going to be a problem. But I don't know what else the Jazz do. There is a gaping hole, and it's funny. Keonte George is the answer. He is. Anyone who disagrees with that, they're incorrect. He's just the answer. He gets that offense set up. He has been more than unselfish helping out this team. And no one does a better job of setting up Lauri Markkanen than Keyonte George. In fact, I'm curious which all of these were two, which I'm Markkanen. All right.
Another minute to go in this first quarter.
Assist George. Assist George.
Markkanen beautifully done.
It's oh my gosh, that one. Let's go look at that. That was just phenomenal. This assist, this pocket assist to Markkanen was just
Another minute to go in this first quarter.
Wham!
Slip past Markkanen.
I mean,
beautifully done.
and let's talk about that for a second. So we have a nickname for it now. So we've got Key and Markkanen. It is the Marquee matchup, baby. That is the nickname. Marquee, baby. It's so good. And it's unguardable. And the Jazz have found a core play set they can run. And this is why Jazz, you know, in fact, now I'm going to get mad. Now I'm mad. Because guess what? You could have run them to end the game. What do you... The Jazz must have some limitation on Keyonte George. I don't get it because he sat on the bench and he knew he wasn't getting back in. He knew it. Instead, we played Jordan Clarkson, who... Here's the thing. In this league, if you can have a two-man combo that you can run, I mean, we used to kind of talk about things like, oh, you know, with Donovan Mitchell, he was your closer. He was the guy you went to close games. And, you know, win or lose, it was kind of the best option you had. Well, you know what a lot of teams, and the Denver Nuggets did this to win an absolute, like a literal title, is they have a two-man game they run. Who is it? Jokic and Murray. When it's near the end of the game, what's going on? It's Jokic and Murray, and they're getting the ball, they're running a pick and roll, and they're going to score at an elite level because it is an elite combo, you know, and then they put guys around them that support what they do. For Utah, and this is why I don't know what's going on with Walker Kessler in his head. He's got to, I don't know. I honestly, I'm to the point where, like, are they going to trade him? Did he get trade rumors? I don't know. I don't know what's going on up here. Did Steve Kerr mess him up? Anyways, the Jazz have an elite two-man combo already. Keyonte George and Lauri Markkanen. And guess what? They can win a lot of games putting the ball in Keyonte George's hands and running a pick and roll with Lauri Markkanen. How do you guard it? Spread the floor. I mean, if you don't trust Walker Kessler with his three-point shot, that's fine. Let him not, he doesn't have to close games. Put in Kelly Olynyk. Put in Yurtsevin, by the way, who had an absolute monster 8 minutes. Look at this. 3 for 3, 1 for 1 from 3. He absolutely brought the Jazz back. I don't know. Play Yurtsevin. He's pretty good, and the offensive rebounding is pretty awesome. But anyways, run your two-man game. Go Markkanen and Keyonte and run it. And it was elite. It was elite, elite, elite. The two times, it just ends up in points. And if you have a two-man game you can run, that means you're not depending on just one guy. If you can run an elite two-man game, Keonte George and Lauri Markkanen setting the pick for Keonte and then either popping out or rolling the basket, or if they go under, Keonte just pulls up and buries it. I mean, how do you guard it? It is unguardable. And Markkanen and Keonte are really smart, and they will be able to pick apart the defense. Over the long haul of a game, it's going to get better and better. They're going to see what the defense is doing, and by the end of the game, they know what to do. And they know what matchups to hunt, too. That's one thing that Will Hardy can do is figure out how to get these matchups set up. Anyways, that's the future, by the way. We saw it tonight, and it was beautiful and amazing, and it sucks that the Jazz lost. They should have won this game. This was a disappointing loss because they should have won, and they looked like the better team to me, just making a lot of stupid mistakes. Stupid, dumb mistakes. Can we trade Colin Sexton yesterday, please? Please? I honestly, I can't handle it anymore. I can't. That play at the end of the half, it boggles my mind. 3 for 8. And he takes pull-up threes. He missed 2 threes tonight. I mean, it's brutal. It is brutal. It is really brutal. And Ochai Agbaji not taking a step sucks. And Chris Dunn not being able to make his little floater and doing anything. By the way, that was the other thing. Someone made a comment on Twitter. It was a good comment. Walker Kessler should have been on that last possession when the Jazz were up by 1. He should have been. I don't care that he's struggling. What does he do? He blocks shots and he defends the rim. He could have blocked that shot. You know what else? Put in Chris Dunn. We did it last time, and when we played the Clippers and they beat the Clippers at the end of the game, what did they do? They put in Chris Dunn at the end of the game, and it was a good move, and it helped them win the game. Chris Dunn's sitting right there. Walker Kessler's sitting right there. Instead, they don't, and the Magic just score. I don't understand it. That was a mistake on the Jazz coaching staff part. It was just a flat-out mistake. Put your best... situational substitutions are vital in some of these games. You put in Kessler. I would like to play that possession again. I would like to see it again with Kessler at center and Chris Dunn at point, I swear. So there's got to be stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. There's got to be, because there's just some weird things going on. Will Hardy's not stupid. He's smarter than all of us at all of this. He knows more, sets and actions and game situations than all of us. And he's been in more of them than all of us. He's not stupid. There's got to be reasons. I don't know if Walker Kessler is hurt. I don't know if they have certain minute restrictions. There obviously is some sort of restriction for Keonte George that they're not going to play him too much. There's got to be something going on. I don't know what it is, but it's frustrating. You can tell it's fishy. But anyways, one of my favorite moments of this season, it's my favorite moment. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be when we get the news that Keonte George is starting. I am so excited for that. I am so excited to watch Keonte George, Lauri Markkanen pick and rolls with John Collins spreading the floor, and then whoever. There is a gaping hole here at guard for the Jazz. And what's interesting is that Keonte George has filled the point guard hole as soon as he's given the reins and they're believing in him. I mean, I honestly think the Jazz have to make a trade to make a statement even to their team that this is the Keonte George team now. He is the future. And he's done, one of the things I've loved too is that he has been super unselfish. He does not take a lot of shots. I mean, he only took 2 shots this game. He made the 1 3 he took. Man, it would have been nice if he'd been on the floor that last game. You think if Keyonte George takes that 3, he might knock that down? Oh, man. Oh, man. What a brutal loss for the Jazz. There's so many reasons they should have honestly won this game by 10, 15 points. On top of the fact it was a back-to-back, which is probably why they weren't playing well, because they're probably tired, and when you're tired, you make mistakes. But anyways, I am so excited for Keyonte George to start. The Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George is going to be an elite closing duo. They are going to do great things. And then the Jazz have to do something to fill that shooting guard hole. And I wonder if it's going to be some sort of trade. Who knows? They have a lot of picks. Is there a guard out there that can kind of, do they want to go out and get OG Anunoby? Can you go get Pascal? I mean, maybe it's in free agency. Maybe you just try to figure out a way to go get Pascal Siakam. I don't know. And then you just have a monster-sized lineup with Pascal at the 2, Lauri at the 3, Collins. I don't know. The Jazz also need to figure out shooting. I mean, Walker Kessler, hopefully that corner 3 can develop. I want to see more and more of those getting shot, and I think he can knock them down. But, man, Kessler, by the way, was questionable tonight with an elbow, which makes me think that Domantas Sabonis dirty play he did on Kessler is kind of hurting him. So that could be something that's going on. I don't know. All right, guys, that's all I got tonight. What a frustrating loss. It should have been a win. This show would have been so different if the Jazz would have won. It would have been glorious. But it is what it is. But anyways, guys, if you're new here, if you're a Jazz fan, what are you doing? Have you not signed up yet? You've got to sign up. This is the Utah Jazz, the best Utah Jazz YouTube channel. It is the best just Utah Jazz podcast. By the way, I'm going to try to get this up on Spotify. I'm going to start doing that. Those are going to be fun to put up there, and I think it'll be nice to kind of grow the channel that way. Jordan Mackey's a starter, baby. Welcome to Jordan Mackey. A starter rotation guy, baby. All right. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under. Ezekiel 2 times. Ezekiel, you got to check that out. I think you're getting double docked. Go check it out, buddy. Yes, Jake C. Can. Christian House Money to Haas. See ya, Lexa Later. Bill Ford Tough. Alexander Tufts. Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo. Jordan the Goat Bessel. TGD Total Game Domination. Tyson Price, The Price is Right. Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire. DW the CD, Darren Williams, Carlos Boozer, Patrick Google, The Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. All right. Thank you again, Baby Elliott Madsen, for the donation. I appreciate it a ton. Wemby is awesome. Did they end up winning? Let's see. I'm just curious. Did they win? Yep. San Antonio beat Phoenix. Holy smokes. We got destroyed by Phoenix. All right, guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time.